We're
These fucking
back.
Cardinal motherfuckers stepping up in here thinking that they can do some shit to us. Fuck these goddamn pieces of shit. Fucking St. Louis full of meth heads and crack addicts. And you got fucking Arizona, which pretty much the same fucking thing, just further fucking west. Might as well just be fucking St. Louis West. A bunch of crackheads and meth addicts. Just walking around, fucking baking in the sun. Fuck them. Fuck them all. That's why they fucking lost, because they didn't deserve to win, because their fan bases are shit.
I love the fact that we haven't recorded since prior to your infamous storm that rolled through there, and you just go off to open us up. I love it.
Oh, listen, man, some things got to stay the same, right?
Um, so yeah, we're back. Well, Richie's somewhere. I don't know where he's at. Well, you know where he's at. Come on, you listen to our
Tied
show.
to the bed. Harley Quinn Smith is fucking him.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I don't mean that like they're having sex. I mean she's got his strap on and is just going to town on his brown eye. You know,
uh,
she's
but
pounding him like the fist of an angry god.
I told Danielle to hop on tonight so we could just kind of play catch up, and she joins us. Well, that's the person that laughed anyway at that. So
Yeah. He pulled me from my zoo game.
yeah, I said
This is
take
what
a break.
happens when Tom takes me to the zoo. I take a bunch of pictures and then I go and play my zoo game and try to replicate the stuff I see.
Fair enough. Hey, it's
Yeah,
you do what you got to do.
but
You know.
now it's good to hop on with you here. I know we've been texting and stuff for the last couple of weeks, and I think we briefly talked on the phone for a few minutes. But so how you holding up, man? How's things down in your disaster world down there?
No, that's pretty much the most accurate thing that I've heard it called lately is disaster land. It really, really, truly is. Just the level of devastation that's just spread out across Cape Coral, Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, Pine Island. It's all, dude. It's gone. Fort Myers Beach is gone. Pine Island is gone. Matt Lachey is gone. Sanibel's gone. Captiva's gone. Uh, any any island community that was in any of our barrier islands is it's gone. The coastal communities are gone. Um, Cape Coral itself took it right on the fucking chin. Fort Myers took it on the chin. The downtown areas are decimated. Um, the I keep hearing this fucking death toll of 56. I'm here to tell you right now that ain't true. There's thousands of people dead, thousands, triple digits, and we know this because whether they want to say it on the news or not. Um, and honestly, I think it's a political stunt. I know that we don't talk about politics, but there's a lot of people jockeying for a lot of positions that may or may not come open in state government down here in the next few years, and the Lee County Sheriff is trying to throw his hat in the ring to be the next governor if DeSantis tries to run for president or anything else, and he's trying to keep himself looking good. There's thousands of people dead.
Now is
Shit,
it
we probably lost four people the other day, not directly due to the hurricane, but we had one of our emergency helicopters crash,
mm,
and it almost crashed into the 911 center, and it's just, dude, it's been kick to the nuts after kick to the nuts, and it's it's devastating.
that's going to be my one question for you on that. Is there still just a bunch of people just unaccounted for? Is that what?
Oh, there's people unaccounted for. They're cleaning up. See, here's the thing, and this is what they're not talking about, and I can vouch for this 100%. They're cleaning up bodies off of the beaches every day, and it's
Mm,
not one or two.
right.
It's not. There's no way in hell that the body count on this is 56 people. That's a fucking lie. That is an outright bald-faced fucking lie. And
Well,
it
and I
makes me sick that I
wonder.
hear these fucks talking about that.
I also wonder about like the transient people because like I know that like me and Tom have talked about like when we retire, it's like, oh, we'll just go and we'll buy like a small little house somewhere as our base. And like we've talked about like just traveling in an RV and then staying in like, event, we've even talked about like getting a boat. So it's like how many like we saw the videos of people like getting in their boats and trying to beat the storm out. It's like how many people like are unaccounted for that nobody knows whether they were there or not. Like how many homeless people were like living in their boats. And I say homeless
Right.
people because I mean their boat was their home, but like if you didn't know, if nobody knew that they were there, and that's kind of a sad thought.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and to your point though, with the homeless people, look, we do, because of the weather, we do have a huge homeless population. They live in the woods near the VA clinic.
Yeah.
There's multiple different homeless encampments throughout Cape Coral, and all those people, who knows how many of them lost their lives. North Fort Myers, I know it's not right on the water, but there are parts of it that are, and I know people. Listen, I, I try not to think too much about what went on during the storm because it's it's still an open wound. Um, and what's funny, honestly, all right, so all cards on the table. If this happened, and this is going to sound shitty, it's really going to sound shitty, but but I need to talk about it. If this would have happened back home, I'd be don't get me wrong, I'm devastated. If this happened back home, I'd be 10 times worse. I still, I don't fucking like this place. I didn't want people to die at all, obviously. Part of my job is to keep people from dying. And so, like, this has hit me really hard. And I've told, I've told the story that, when we were talking, people were asking me how I was doing everything. And I said, you know what, this has hit me worse than anything since 9/11. And especially because being so involved and hearing the people crying out for help and not being able to send anybody to them, having people's houses burned down, having people saying the water's getting high, I don't know what to do, and not being able to say, all right, well, I'm getting somebody to you right now. It was horrifying. And as bad as I feel, if this was back home, I would feel a million times worse because I still don't feel like I don't feel the sense of community. And part of it maybe is because I'm seeing different people. Like, people are still trying to play this up as a fucking political thing. One of the posts I've seen recently was, well, you don't see windmills coming down here and people with Priuses driving in to fix your power lines, and people with you don't see pronoun people out here helping and doing stuff, and it's toxic masculinity that fixed this area. Motherfucker, why are you trying to fucking divide us even more at this point? How do you know none of those fucking linemen that are out there don't have Priuses? How do you know that the people who believe in all that shit aren't helping, aren't trying to do shit? Why are you fucking, and it's not somebody, what pisses me off is it's a talking head from some radio station or another, or some fucking, political whatever, outside of the area, posting the shit to their social media, and then people down here pick up on it and start sharing it around. It's like,
And
you
ultimately
have
they're
no
not even doing anything to help.
No, and
right.
I think that's the kicker of it is that, we've seen devastation here and there, especially locally ourselves. And look, you get 1% on one side, 1% on the other side. That, like you just said, it's a talking head. They're not doing anything to help. But 98% or more, honestly, of the general public, regardless of your politics or whatever else, is going to help you. You know what I mean? Is going to help
Right.
people in need. That's how the general public works. It's just the two far ends of the spectrum that like to try to crush us in half. It, it doesn't work. The
They
the
just have
good
a bigger platform to do it.
right, exactly,
Right.
exactly. We're just trying to make it do day by day, and I remember you throwing us some text messages and stuff during all of it, and I don't want to get too far involved with it, obviously, as far as how you're dealing and coping with that day, especially, but it just didn't sound good. But one thing that did sound good was some of the posts that you had. I know that some people were friends of yours and stuff, um, with food truck or
Yes.
the game store opening back up. I know little things like that were bright spots for you. Was there anything else that you saw that were maybe other bright spots here and there with maybe people pitching in or things like something randomly opened that was like, oh yes, I need this in my life, just something.
So, I mean, what's been good is like the food trucks have been trying to do what they can. They're going out into the communities and they're lining up and they're just cooking and they're cooking, and whether you can pay or not, you go and you get food. Um, Seeing the National Guard here, volunteers from all over the place that shit the line. Let me tell you, the people who deserve the absolute most respect in my eyes in this whole situation are the electric workers, the utility workers, the linemen. Coming from Peyton and I saw one from New York earlier today. Um, just the amount of people that came in to help with just that, because when I had initially heard the estimates, they were legitimately saying 2 months
Right.
before we had power. They said this was the worst infrastructure damage that they had seen in a Florida storm in history. And it's, within, God, I honestly, I couldn't tell you how many days it's been because everything is a blur. Um, I know that we're into October. Well, okay, thanks to the little thing at the top corner of my iPad, I know that it's Monday, October 10th. Um, but like every day since it happened, it's been a blur. And so if I'm correct, I think we're about 2 weeks out from it happening.
Hmm.
And I couldn't really tell you for sure. Um, you guys, you guys can confirm that or whatever. I have no fucking idea. Um, but we got power back yesterday. So probably around shit, right before the Eagles game, I think, probably. Um, and so you know, we've had that. Wawa, Wawa is giving out free bags of ice. Anybody who needs it, 2 free bags of ice. Will just walk in, tell them, hey, I need 2 bags of ice. They ring it up so they can keep the inventory on it, and then you just walk out and it's free.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
there's
was
been
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
so yeah. So all right, so 2 weeks without power and water, and honestly, if my dad didn't know what the hell he was doing with the with our water system, we still wouldn't have water. Um, at their house, he and I went out there with some PVC and some pipe weld and put it back together, got it standing up, reconnected all the pipes and everything. But um, my cousin came down with a generator and had the house running so that we at least had some power, had electricity, some AC, because it's the first few days after the hurricane it was nice and cool, but um, it's gotten hellaciously hot again because it's Florida and that's what Florida does. Yesterday we had our first storm since the hurricane, and fuck man, the they had just gotten the power connected and it went out 3 times
Oh
in
no.
record. Like it came right back. It came right back, but we were like, come on, not this shit again. Um, but the lightning was fucking terrible, dude. Lightning was worse in that storm than it was during the hurricane. I couldn't even. Well, I shouldn't say that because I really don't know. I really don't
Because you
know
were
because
inside, weren't you?
well,
Obviously.
I mean, we had big ass windows. Like there was a point where when I was sitting in the comm center that the building was shaking, and I'm looking at the window like, all right, when's that fucking thing gonna break?
Mm.
Because I'm gonna get covered in fucking glass. Um, but it was rough, and probably the worst thing for me, I knew that I was safe for the most part because we were in that building. I mean, honestly, it's a 3-story building in Florida in the middle of a fucking Cat 4, damn near Cat 5 hurricane. Oh, and let me say this. All these motherfuckers out there being pedantic and saying, oh, well, Category 5 is 157 miles an hour. You only got to 156. Go fuck yourself. Okay? Just no lube. Just dip your hand in sand and shove it right up your ass. But that building, I I didn't. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to get. I wasn't going to worry about floodwater in that building. But knowing that I'm there and everybody else is Stephanie and Peyton and Scrappy were in our rental house, which I was pretty confident it wasn't going to be flooded because of how far inland it is and the elevation.
Mm-hmm.
My parents are right on the water.
I was really
And
concerned about your parents. No offense, I was concerned about you, but I've been to your
well, yeah,
parents' house, and it's like right there. They're like the canal is right there.
yeah. And they got it came up pretty high in their yard. It came up to the palm trees in the back, but luckily it didn't, come into their house. Destroyed the boat lift, destroyed the boat. Um, took down trees, took shingles off the roof, um, screwed up some soffit stuff, but nothing that can't be replaced. You know, and that's the big thing is I just consider myself lucky that my rental house, there's probably more damage than we know. All the soffits blew out. We know water got inside. We know that there's water that we're starting to see some stains in the ceiling where the water did definitely absolutely get in. Blew out the attic entry in the garage. Um, but I know people who have. I know someone who almost lost their mother. Our officers were able to get to her mother as the water was up to her chin.
Mm.
I know people who lost everything, their houses, every fucking belonging that they had in this world, and so we got out extremely, extremely lucky, and I'm thankful for that. Uh, I know people who shit. There's people at my work who they were at work, and while they were in doing their thing, their cars got destroyed in the parking lot. And, luckily, Blue fucking avoided that shit because that would have sucked. Obviously not as bad as people losing their lives and shit, but I'd have been pretty fucking bummed. Uh, but it's sobering to see everything that happened and just the amount of the outpouring that's come in. And I hate to be negative, but I just it still just eats me up that these fucks are trying to come in from you know way out of left field and try and fucking talk shit and get us turned against each other. It's just it's not a fucking game. It's fucking not. Um,
That happens with every like natural disaster, because like when we had the Mayfield tornado that came through, that like I mean that it's still decimated. That area, you still drive through it and it's still like to the ground horrible. And like I remember people posting like, why are we sending linemen down there? What did they ever do for us? And it's like they sent linemen up when Sandy happened. Like that was a big deal. Was that like this area they band together and they sent linemen up to New Jersey, you know? So it's kind of like, why are you making it political? Because back when Sandy happened, like you welcomed the linemen, you welcomed their help, but because they're you're sending down to somebody else, it became like a political thing. And I mean, it still is, and it's what we're coming up to 1 year after the Mayfield tornado went through.
Yeah, and it's just the crazy thing to me was just watching, kind of like through your messages, obviously the swath of your storm was much worse, but the Mayfield thing, that's still, from what all accounts, that was still well over 100 dead during the whole path of that thing.
Yeah, I mean that was like a super tornado. That wasn't like what.
But
that was a storm of the century.
But we got the same thing. It was like, oh, it was an EF4. It wasn't an EF5. And it's like, cut me a break here. Come on. Yeah. Like, it's still damaging.
How about my ass?
Exactly.
We were driving. We drove through it finally, like 3 months later, and they still had like electric wires down in the road, and it's like the whole town's gone. Like it's gone. There's not much that survived that.
But no, it was good to see some of the bright spots that you did post, as far as people kind of pitching in and helping each other, and that's what gets the sense of community back. The people that run the businesses there, the people that that basically are the blood of the area. It's just one of those things that that's what's going to get you back on your feet. Of course, you're going to get help from a lot of other people that don't live there. That part of it's what they want to do, and the other part, that's their job, is to help, whether it's like you said, National Guard or the FEMA or whoever is in there. That's what their expectation is. That's what they're expected to do.
Right. Not that I think that they'll listen, but we had a couple people. We had four people, 2 from Miami and 2 from Pasco County, come in and work in our dispatch center. So Brittany and Kelly from Pasco, and I didn't get the Miami girls' names, but shout out to them. They did awesome. They really helped us out a lot. Just taking some of the burden off of us as we tried to kind of work through everything. And so I gotta shout this out, because he's been doing the rounds nationally, and he's been all over the place. But Gabe, the Eagles fan with the fucking flag,
yes,
that he does the food truck, the Double D's Munchies. It's him and his niece Gabby, and dude, standing out there at the Eagles flag, standing strong against that fucking storm, showing it what fucking for. And then he was interviewed by SI. He was interviewed by, I think he was interviewed by the Eagles themselves too. And so that's pretty cool.
And she's in our football league, isn't she?
Yeah, we saw we saw him on Twitter. Like Tom was like, that name looks really familiar. And how many Eagles fans are in Fort Myers? So he went and he looked it up, and he was like, it's either him or somebody that's related to him that's in our football league. And honestly, I was like, I'm not really paying attention because there's nothing I can do in the league anymore. I can't
Speaking of a whole nother shit show.
Yeah. Well, now I'm pissed because I went to go pick up Taysom Hill, and somebody's already fucking got him.
Yeah, but don't worry, you almost beat me with Zappy.
Wait, did I lose?
You're going to.
God damn.
I haven't even looked at it. That's how bad
I still had Josh Jacobs going, and last I checked, he put me over.
God damn it. I forgot you had Josh Jacobs. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to the game tonight, obviously. But that's let's see, how bad am I losing? Oh, Jesus Christ!
Sorry.
If it
All
makes you
right.
feel any better, I'm losing 142 to 65. So
Well, fuck.
Yeah, and what the bad part about that is the Danielle's getting beat by Belichick's upper lip started Andy Dalton.
yeah, well, that's because I have, let's see, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 players that made less than 5 points, and they all played. Everybody got points.
Well, the only positive that I have is what's his name getting Rashad Penny getting hurt. So now Kenneth Walker is going to be the new starting running back for Seattle. So I gained a starting running back this week.
Yeah, off an injury. Penny's out for the year.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and unfortunately, Danielle, you have Penny on your team as one of your starters.
What do I was looking at my other. I was looking at my other league. What do I have? What?
Bob's fortunate luck there was that he has the Seahawks backup running back is now going to be the starter because their starter got hurt. Penny, well, you have the starter. He's out for the year.
Okay, well, I got to get rid of him. That's the third player that's injured in this league. Tom was like, go ahead and put one on the injured reserve. And I was like, which one? Because I've got like 3 of them that are out like 4 weeks. But like, you go and you look at wide receivers and nobody's playing. So who am I supposed to pick up? It's worth just keeping them for 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, here's how bad it is in our league. Remember the running back from Washington that got shot?
Oh yeah, the kneecap guy.
Up.
Is he going to come back?
Up. He is. He played this week.
Did he really?
I believe so. If he didn't play this week, he's playing next week.
No way.
Yeah. Let me see. Brian Robinson.
He did play.
Yeah, he scored 2.2 points. He ran 9 times for 22 yards.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I have him. So that's sweet 2.2 points.
Drop that guy because he's locked in my lineup.
Oh, you have to wait till.
You gotta wait.
You know what's a shame? He's not even in the 5 that I had that scored less than 5 points. He scored more than 5 points.
Yeah, what did he have, like 5.3?
I don't like your league here. It's very frustrating.
I don't like my league.
It's very frustrating.
My league. Listen, my league, they're telling me that I'm going to be almost as bad as Kyler. And nobody's as bad as Kyler.
Let me see after this. Final standings. I'm dropping from 9th to 12th.
Yeah, but I'm like 19th, I think.
I would like to point it out. I was in first.
You were. Where am I? Because I can't do 2 things on the internet at once right now.
Ooh, I'm going to go up to 5th.
What's your name?
Fighting Chupacabras.
You're 17th.
17th.
Ooh, I'm not 19th anymore. That's good.
Belichick's upper lip went from 17th to 1st.
Yeah, we got to take him out.
I hate to break it to you, but Kyler's 16th.
Son of a bitch. Who's worse than me?
He went from 20th to... You play to win the game, went from 5th
to 20th.
Yeah. The ad on the trending down goes, maybe the team just needs a Snickers.
Isn't Sammy you play to win the game?
I'm pretty sure.
All right, shout out to Sammy for being worse than me. I appreciate it, bud.
Good job, Sammy. You've now taken the Kyler Award home with you.
That's what we should call the worst team in the league. Should just be the Kyler
Award. He listens.
I wish. I know.
In Chris's league, Tom, I won this week. and I went from second to sixth. How did that happen?
Oh, I know why
She didn't
Sammy's
win convincingly enough.
I'll give you two words on the reason why Sammy's not doing so good. Danielle Jones.
Oh, well, they won. They won this week.
Yeah, they can win all they want, but he had 5.8 points.
Listen, Cooper Rush had negative 0.1 points for the Cowboys in their win over the Rams.
Yeah, there was a lot of bizarre like quarterback matchups this week I was looking at. The one where, I already mentioned with you had Zappy. Trying to think who else. Oh yeah, this was the Trash Bandicoots, Chris's team versus Sammy play to win the game. The barn burner quarterback matchup of Trevor Lawrence's 3.7 points to Daniel Jones's already mentioned 5.8. Jared Goff got a good old grand total of 0.4. Teddy Bridgewater threw up a goose egg. Davis Mills 1.6. Russell Wilson got 2.4. Yeah, it's just a really bad week for quarterbacks. Unless your name is Josh
I think
Allen.
Russ might be washed, man.
That I never understood. I mean, I get it. I think he's a proven winner. But he has to have that team around him. And I don't know. I think this is not looking too good for his start in Denver.
The only thing I can say is I know he got an injection. Apparently, he tore something. But like, still, he's looking ragged, bud. He's just fucking terrible this year. We'll see how much of it is the injury, and how much of it is just he's lost a step. And because he's one of those quarterbacks where he's never been a Peyton Manning, where he can sit back in the pocket and just dissect a defense. He's always kind of relied on having a little bit of mobility in the pocket, and then that's how he can, he buys time, and then that's how he's able to dissect. He's never so, it'll be interesting to see. Not saying that he's not a good passer, because he is. He's been a good passer throughout his career, but he tends to think better on his feet than to sit back and do it. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think we might be seeing the end of one Russell. Danger Russell Wilson.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm certainly not impressed by anything he's done in Denver. And who knows? Maybe this is it for him. But I will say this though: at this point, he's still better than some of the other people that have run out there every week. So,
yeah. Well, let's see what happens now with I almost called him Charlotte, with Carolina, now that they fired Matt Rule.
Yeah, I know. So he started 1-4, and he's out the door. So,
yeah, we'll see if that turns around the offense at all. There was rumblings of them trading Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I saw that possibly to Buffalo. Which,
yeah, I can't see them doing it, because they're not going to get the draft capital that's worth anything back from Buffalo.
No.
You trade a player like that to a team where they've got multiple first-round picks, and you can get, not that it's going to happen, but the Eagles. The Eagles would be a team that you get Christian McCaffrey, because they've got the Saints' first-round pick and they've got their own. So you get 2 firsts that way, and then or some ridiculous package like that. But they're not. The Eagles aren't going to do it. I would hope the Eagles aren't going to do it.
No, I hope not either. Not especially after our wonderful weekend of wins, 5-0.
That's right, baby.
And a fun Saturday win that Danielle and I were in attendance for.
Yes.
And I want to put it for the record here to the fan sitting in front of us that said Bryce Harper won those MVP awards so long ago.
Yes.
That
Didn't he
2021.
won last year, right?
Yes, 2021 isn't exactly that long ago.
Oh, there was a bunch of like just stupid comments that were made. Like,
Well,
after somebody hit a home run, like one of the fans like turned to, like, it was actually the guy sitting next to me who was being a complete jerk the entire time. But he's like, he must have been like a teenager or like an older teenager, young adult with his parents. And he was like, must have been a cork bat. It's like, I mean,
listen, this all goes back to what I said to open this fucking show, okay? You got the fucking mouth breathing troglodyte, fucking meth addicted, inbred, fucking piece of shit St. Louis fans. And then they're fucking baked out cousins to the west in Arizona. And they're all fucking losers. All they did this weekend was fucking take L's. And that's just what they fucking deserve. Fuck them. Fuck them all.
I will say though that, like, other than just a couple of like bad seeds, I will say that like we walked around St. Louis this weekend in our Phillies shirts and our Eagles shirts, and even their smack talk was very nice. Like, I had a guy, like, we went to a restaurant and I held the door open for him, and he's walking in and he's got an Eagles shirt on. So he says to me, he's like, hey, good win. You know, like, nice win or something along those lines. So I see his Eagles shirt and I'm like, yeah, I'm hoping for another win on Sunday, but I would really like a win tomorrow because it was game one. It was
Yeah, it was
game one.
after the Friday game. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to game two. Now, like, because that's how I said it. I hope we have a win on Sunday, and I was meaning the Eagles. And then, like, I hope that we have another one on tomorrow because that's the game that we're going to. And this guy like turns around at me. He's like, well, I would be happy not to see any more of your wins. I'm like, all right, dude. All right. Like, I told Tom, I said, it must have been one of those cases where, like, it must have been a high school that uses the Eagles logo. And
yeah.
My brain just associated him, because we had several like Eagles and Phillies fans come up to us that weren't like wearing stuff, and they'd be like, oh, we ran into somebody from Doylestown, and there was somebody from middle Pennsylvania.
Yeah, someone that was just traveling the country, and I was like, oh, you guys going to the game today? And they're like, oh no, we're just traveling around. It's like, okay. But no, it was funny. We had a couple pregame snacks and beers at the Budweiser Brew House, which is right across the road from Busch Stadium, and they actually have like deck or rooftop seating you can get to watch the game, and they have like that big, like, in the back, like the giant board, like the big screen projector where, you know, fans that don't go to the game or they pregame kind of tailgate there. Like, so it's where you always see like the big videos of people jumping up and down and hooting and hollering. And one of the guy actually brought our food, was like, oh yeah, he saw our Phillies stuff and he was like all happy, and looked up and he was wearing an Eagles hat. It was like, all
No, I
right.
asked him. I said, "Are you a Phillies fan working here?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he goes and he points to his hat and he's got an Eagles emblem on it. And I'm sitting there. I told Tom, I said, they're probably not allowed to wear like other team stuff, and that's the way that he gets around it. But and we were talking about it, like, that is the one thing that Philly is really lacking, and I really liked about that area was that you could show up like 2-3 hours early and you could go to a bar, and it's literally right across from the stadium, and you don't have to go very far.
They have that now. Xfinity Live.
I don't think it's as big as what St. Louis's is. Like, St. Louis, it's like a whole block And like you
Oh,
can
okay.
go and you can get a beer and you can like walk all over this block.
Yeah,
And they have
I think that's what Philly's
like the
opening striving for. It's weird saying like because it's been there for so long now. That whole area is so developed with like bar after bar after bar.
yeah.
It's
I mean, it's
it's
almost like their bars like intertwined, like the center thing that he was talking about. Like they had like a whole like game show thing going on before the game. It was really cool. I will give them a lot of credit that like, but we were talking about it. Like Philly doesn't really have the space to do it because of all the like everything's parking uh lots around the
Right.
stadiums, and unfortunately, like St. Louis is just like it's just city.
Well, and that's where Xfinity Live is a good start. Like you said, I mean, it would be cooler if it was bigger, and that's the problem. Is that
right.
Yeah.
Xfinity Live is cool, and it's got a lot of cool stuff, but it's it's only about the size of the Spectrum, maybe a little bit bigger than the Spectrum, because that's what they built it on the footprint of the Spectrum. Um, but I've been there. It's okay. I prefer to be in the stadium. Uh,
Yeah.
or like you guys said, if they could build some cool complex like that, uh, it'll be interesting to see if they end up building that stadium in Center City for the Sixers.
That's what we were
It'll be
talking
interest.
about.
It'll be very interesting to see, number one, what comes up around that, and number two, what they then do if they put any kind of extra stuff out near the stadiums. Which I don't know that you necessarily could, but
Well, we
you
were
might be
talking
able to get
about
away
it.
with it.
What they might even consider, like what I think, and this is the thing that like the St. Louis Stadium has that like Philly does not have, is like a car garage, a parking garage. So like that, like a lot of, I mean, that takes up a lot of their parking is the parking garage. And then they have like stuff around the stadium. So like we were actually talking about it because it was like growing up, you go to a Phillies game and you like go to a Phillies game, or like when you're older, then you tailgate at the Phillies game. But like this, it was like a whole ordeal. Like it's like you go out for food and you go out for drinks. And like it was kind of like, how much money are they making from people going before the game or after the game? You know, just heading right over, And I mean, it's like they don't even have to get in their car. They just walk across one road and they're on this like whole strip of bars. And it was really cool. I will give them a lot of credit on that. They're the place that we bought tickets, the really expensive place. What was that called?
The National Car Rental Club.
That was a all inclusive. So like all of our alcohol and all of our food was purchased with the ticket, and that was really cool. I know that those things exist in the Citizens Bank, but
It was cool. Though I will say this to kind of put a bow on it. Like 11 years ago, we went to Busch and watched the Phillies lose 5-3, Game 4 of the NLDS, and took a lot of not in person, but took a lot of crap from different people
yes,
about
Game
you know
5.
basically Game 5, especially that was Game 5 was the one where Howard blew his wheel out. And it was kind of the end of our dynasty. That was really the beginning of the end for us. I mean, it was the last time the Phillies have been in the playoffs since this year, and that was the pieces started falling apart at that point. But sweet, sweet revenge to have been there for a 2-0 win and to send Pujols and Yachty to the old folks' home. Sayonara.
Yep. Hey,
And
listen,
possibly Adam Wainwright, but we didn't see him play, so whatever.
We didn't see him play.
look, it's classic Philly. They took one of ours, so we took two of theirs.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Hey, you know what? It's really cool though. You know what the best part about that was? We can finally say this is our third postseason game we've ever been to in our whole lives, and we finally got to see them win one. Yay!
Hey, that's something. I've never seen one. The only postseason games that I've ever seen in person. I was at what's it, 2000? Must have been after the 2000 season, so like 2000 into 2001 when we beat the Bucks at the Vet.
Hmm.
I worked security at that game, and I was in the 700 level on New Year's Eve, and so that was a fun one. We ended up beating the Bucks and sent them packing, and then I was at one of the um, one of the Calder Cup Finals games where the Phantoms were playing the Hershey Bears, and they ended up they beat the Bears. But that's the only two postseason games that I've ever been to.
I think the closest I ever went to was the I mean, and it's not postseason, but it's the All-Star game in Philly.
Oh,
Yeah, I
the
was there.
96 one.
Yeah,
It was whatever year that me and Bob worked.
yeah,
Bob,
96.
Bob ruined it for me.
I didn't ruin shit.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, we went to game 3 of the Milwaukee '08 disaster, and then game 4 of the St. Louis 1 and 11, and this
Two
wild
bad
card.
things happened. So we've been really lucky
Bad
this
things
time.
happen.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Bad things happen outside Philadelphia.
Yep. So
It's
we
like it's like that episode of It's Always Sunny. Bad things happen when you leave Philly. Look, there's trees everywhere.
that's what I love about the. Have you seen any of the Monday night spots at all about the upcoming Cowboy or not Monday night? I'm sorry, Sunday night spots about the upcoming Eagles Cowboys game. It's got a It's Always Sunny spin on it because obviously it's not the same, station, so they have to be selective. But like the music is very similar.
Frenetic.
Yeah, basically they're doing like
Frenetic.
frenetic type stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, because we still don't have cable. We still don't have cable. We still don't have internet. So I haven't seen anything. I'm hoping that we have cable by Sunday so that I can watch this fucking game without going crazy. Because obviously, Cowboys. I've already changed all my shit on Facebook to fuck Dallas, basically.
I noticed. I
Um,
noticed.
I'm wearing my Bird Gang shirt right now. Nobody can fucking see it, but
Bob, it posted 20 times.
yeah, good, good, because that's how much I fucking hate those pieces of shit. Listen, while I've got this little soapbox to close this one down, you know what? Everybody said the NFC East was going to be shit this year. Everybody fucking said it. They said, "Oh, Dallas is going to be the best fucking team in the NFC East," and then we got some players during the offseason, and they're like, "All right, well maybe the Eagles will be pretty good too." And everybody talks shit on the entire fucking NFC East. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Who's the only fucking division that's got 3 teams that are 4-1 or better? It's the fucking NFC East. So you know what? Yeah, I'm counting Dallas in that. I'm actually saying something positive about them, which fucking hurts my heart a little bit. But that's coming. That's coming. So what's going to happen is Sunday, fucking Dakota Prescott, if he decides to get his sissy ass off the fucking bench and decides he wants to start playing football again instead of fucking nursing his thumb like a little bitch, if he comes into the game, he's going to get sent right the fuck back out because fucking BG and Hassan Reddick are going to go in there and smash his fucking hand. He's not going to be able to jerk off anymore. He's going to be fucking bleeding all over the place. You know what? Fuck him. He's not going to be able to get rim jobs from fucking Ezekiel Elliott, and that's cool. If they want to do that in their off time, that's fine. Whatever. Not coming down on him for that, but it's still weird. Anyway, fucking there's Dallas Cowboys. There's fucking cockroach bitch ass fans of theirs that hang out in fucking Philly and pretend that they're from Philly and Jersey, but they're really fucking Texans in disguise, which are pieces of shit to begin with. Those little motherfuckers are going to come out to that stadium and they're going to get their asses fucking handed to them. The fucking Philadelphia Eagles are going to go to 6-0, riding high into the fucking bye week, smacking Dak, smacking down fucking Cooper Rush, that little fucking pussy. They're going to just beat the fucking shit out of the Dallas Cowboys. Because you know what? We're the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts is our leader. That fucking offensive line is going to mow over all of those fucks on that Dallas defense. And our fucking defense is coming for Cooper Rush, Dak Prescott, Roger Staubach. I don't give a fuck who they put back at quarterback. Our defensive line is coming for them. Fuck those motherfuckers.